I've sold both office chairs and gaming chairs for years, and I'm going to share my opinion on why you might want one over the other. I'm also going to introduce some new age gaming chairs that I think might make the racing style obsolete. Stick around to the end if you're seriously considering buying a gaming chair. You're really going to want to see those. The multicolored bucket seat design is what makes racing gaming chairs so popular, but what most people don't realize is that this design was created to mimic sim racing. That's why the original chair makers are called DX Racer and Need for Seat, because you were meant to use it in a simulator racing environment. That transferred over to the office chair environment. The problem is the sporty seat design with the side bolsters that are meant to protect you around curves aren't useful in an office environment. All they do is make your chair rigid, remove your ability to move freely in the chair, and you cannot do things like sit in the chair cross-legged. I've found a few exceptions to this rule on some of the higher end racers, but you're going to need to spend over $500 to get these soft side bolsters on seats like the Titan from Secret Lab or the Andaseat Kaiser. One big downside with the bucket seat design is that you cannot have seat depth adjustment. This allows you to have proper ergonomics, ensuring that the front of your seat is about 2 inches away from the back of your legs. Without this seat depth adjustment, you have to fit the chair instead of allowing the chair to fit you. In most cases, this isn't going to work properly. If you upgrade to a higher end brand like the Secret Lab or the Andaseat, you can get different sizes, but again, it's not going to be adjustable, so you're going to need to fit that exact size, whether it's XL, regular, or small. When comparing the prices on both gaming chairs and office chairs, there are two things that I've found to be true through my experience using and selling them. The first is that you usually get more bang for your buck when going the office chair or the ergonomic chair route as compared to the gaming chair route, simply because you're not putting more money into things like fancy stitching, different colored upholstery, team logos that don't add to the functionality of the chair, but do bump up that price to add to the aesthetics. The second thing that I've noticed is that you can find a much bigger selection in the ergonomic chair world, especially if you want to go high end. Racing chairs typically cap out at around $500 to $700. In my previous office chair versus gaming chair videos, I've received some comments saying things like, of course, a $1,000 ergonomic chair is going to be better than a $300 gaming chair. So I thought that I would give you some price comparisons, give you more bang for your buck than a comparable gaming chair. So the first example that we're going to show is sub $200, and we're going to use our number one pick that we've picked for a couple years now, the Tacova Ergonomic, up against equally priced chairs like the GT Racer or the S Racing chair. When we look at those two gaming chairs, they're going to be small by design, very, very limited in adjustments, height adjustable only arms, lumbar support that's not really existent because you have the cheap pillow, and overall lack of adjustability and comfort. When we look at the Tacova, you're going to get a fully loaded ergonomic chair with 3-way adjustable arms, 2-way adjustable lumbar support, a 2-way adjustable headrest, and a synchro tilt recline. So just from an adjustability standpoint, much more bang for your buck out of the Tacova. Now, from a build quality standpoint, it's not any higher end, so it's still going to be a 2 to 3 year value. When we get to that $500 to $700 price range, we do see the cap on the racing style gaming chair, with that Secret Lab Titan Evo 2022 being the pinnacle of the category in my opinion. We see the soft side bolsters on the seat, the integrated lumbar support, the magnetic pillow, certainly upgrades to every other gaming chair in the category, but it's still limited by that bucket seat design. And so when we compare it to equally priced ergonomic chairs like the Eurotech Vera, like the Haworth Soji, or even a refurbished Steelcase Leap chair from a premium brand, you're getting a lot more value from those ergonomic chairs from an adjustability standpoint, from a flexibility standpoint. They're better built, you're getting a longer warranty, and just a more comfortable chair overall. So that's why I typically sway towards the ergonomic chair world unless you really want that gaming chair look. One of the biggest attractions of the racing style gaming chair is going to be your ability to recline the backrest almost completely flat. Now, for me, this isn't super practical with the way that I use my chair, just because when I'm reclined all the way back, I can't see my screen anyway, and usually it makes my feet dangle, and I'm not super short, I'm 5'9", but your seat needs to go really low with a center tilt recline like most gaming chairs have to prevent your feet from dangling. Now, on the flip side, I can see how this could be very, very useful if your chair is in a dual function environment, home office type environment, where you're also using your chair to lounge. Maybe it's in your living room and it's being used to relax in, eat in, game in, do your office work in. In that situation, I can see that recline being very, very useful because it just opens up a lot more possibilities to use your chair. While most people get fixated on the flat backrest on a gaming chair, they forget about the way that the seat tilts with the back. Now, one of the biggest limitations with that bucket seat design is that you're only going to be able to have that center tilt or knee tilt mechanism, which means that your chair is going to tilt from either right underneath the center of the seat or just behind your knees. And the problem with this is that almost all chairs with these two mechanisms will cause your knees to come up and potentially your feet off the ground. When we flip over to an ergonomic chair, almost all of them feature a synchro tilt mechanism, which means that the backrest reclines at a specific ratio as compared to the seat, usually 2 inches to 1 inch. What this does is it keeps you in an open, ergonomic position through your entire recline and prevents your knees from coming up and bumping into your desk. And we do see this design on chairs from $100 on chairs like the Tacova, all the way up to $2,000 chairs like that Gaming Embody. The backrest design on an ergonomic chair compared to a racing gaming chair are going to be very, very different. Now, most racing gaming chairs are going to have a very rigid frame with side bolsters that are going to kind of push your shoulders in and cradle you in the chair. That gives you very little flexibility. Another thing that we typically see is a completely flat backrest design with some type of pillow or headrest add-on that gives you lumbar support. Now, if you do upgrade to something like that Titan Evo, you will get an integrated lumbar system, but you still get that flat backrest design from the mid-back to the upper portion of the back. When we compare that design to an ergonomic chair, which has a nice S shape that's going to mimic the shape of your spine, it's giving you much better support with that ergonomic chair design as compared to a flat back design on a gaming chair, especially if you're getting a model that has pillows that are most likely going to go flat and won't hold their position due to the bad strap design. Another thing to consider is that metal rigid frame is really going to restrict your movement and the size of the chair overall. So if you are a wide or a larger individual, then you are very likely going to come into contact with those side bolsters. After seeing so many office chairs and so many gaming chairs, I've learned 2 things about the sizes when comparing each of them. The first is that typically an office chair is going to fit more people, just because it's going to have more adjustments to accommodate a wider range of people. Things like seat sliders, back height adjustment, multi-adjustable arms, and larger seat height adjustment ranges are going to be contributing factors to that. Also, things like not having side bolsters on the seat and back, which limits the people that can use the chair, are also going to be things that contribute to an office chair fitting more people than a standard sized gaming chair. The second thing that I've learned is that for big and tall people, oftentimes gaming chairs can be better than a standard office chair when comparing dollar for dollar. This is because in the office chair and the ergonomic chair world, a big and tall chair is going to be considered specialty. So you're going to be paying a premium for a big and tall chair, and so that chair that was $500 might now cost $800 to $1,000. When we compare that to the highest end gaming chairs, they have extra large options that are going to work for big and tall people that are not much more expensive than their standard size chairs. So if you are a big and tall individual and you don't want to spend $800 to $1,500 on a chair, then the gaming chair route can be better for you. In the beginning of the video, I touched on a new age of gaming chairs that I felt had the potential to end the racing chair genre, and I do believe that to be the case. There's a lot of new chairs on the market that have an ergonomic design first, and then they're made to look more like a gaming chair. Now, these aren't just the reskinned chairs that are out on the market like the gaming Aeron. That's just an Aeron in all black. It's been reskinned. I'm talking about gaming chairs that were ergonomic first, but they were designed for gamers. A perfect example would be the Fractal Refine. I think it is the replacement for the Secretlab Titan Evo 2022. It's priced at the same price point, has much better ergonomic adjustments, far more comfortable, overall just a much better built chair. And we see this all the way from lower priced chairs, the Respawn Spire, all the way up to the $1,000 Mavix M9, which I think is a phenomenal option and one of the best gaming chairs in the world. So as we see this transition from racing chairs to ergonomic chairs made to look like gaming chairs, I think we're going to see a bigger movement towards ergonomics, and we're going to get away from those racing style chairs. While I think racing style gaming chairs do have specific situations where they can be good fits, I think that an ergonomic chair for an equal price is almost always going to be the better solution. If none of the options that we presented here today are a good fit for you, check out our cheat sheet in the description. It features our comfort rankings and our sizing guide. Thanks a lot for watching.